some of you were able to be given now, some will be given out later. So there's a grading note. So if you need some background material, but after that, if you want much more detail, for those who have not received this book, I think we have limited copies. I think I have about 20 copies here. They were practically less than 10 minutes. So I can just take one each if you want. I think the important point to note is that ASEAN actually has given the details. Today I'm not going to go into that detail, but rather where the framework is at the moment and where it will be going. As today's speaker Brian was saying, we are proposing that it becomes a multilateral regional ASEAN agreement, having all countries agree to it and it's legally binding. Otherwise, it is a soft law. We already have the ASEAN Declaration on the promotion and protection of the rights of migrant workers. But what we are going to do from that declaration, which is a soft law, if you use Brian's term, which cannot be forced into any government to make it legally, neither is it ratification, it's only signing. That is the option. If a government wants to implement it, they can do it. If they like, if they don't like, as Brigadier General says, they can talk and talk forever, do nothing. So after this session, I would also propose that if you want to have more information, there will be, I think, Sean sitting behind, she will pass a list of address. You can write your names down in your email section so that updates can be given to you. Yes? I don't know what I'm doing, but I think it's important that we follow up. I want to follow up with a, I think first, yesterday also and before, we have been talking about whatever label you give. A human being is a person. Individual, it can be a community. You cannot treat a human being like a computer. You can't treat a human being like a child and export them. I think Brian gave a good concept of passports, everything. But one thing we have to know, there is a difference between a human being that is alive, man, women, children, and a goods that is exported. We cannot treat a human being the same way we treat a table, chair, TV, even your microphone. You can play around, you can switch it off, but you can't switch off a human being. You put them in the ice box. What happens if the air doesn't get in and the person dies? In Reno, it happens. Fire, dam. So what we are trying to say is, when we deal with a human being, as the police Brigadier General says, very clearly, you cannot treat them as if they are illegal goods. But even animals today have animal rights, right? You can't beat up a dog in some countries like Singapore, you'll be jailed. But if you beat up a human being and throw him out, if nobody sees, nothing happens. Because last week in Singapore, a horrible accident. A worker was dead, killed somehow by accident in a construction site. The company, what he did was very bad. Put him in a truck somewhere, drop him in the middle of the drive in the road. Is that the right way to deal with it? Covering up an industrial accident. So I think that is the point I want to talk about here before I move on. The principles have been agreed by all countries, are member of ILO, including Cambodia, Laos, Singapore. But implementation is very, very poor, like what I've said before. So the fundamental principle, right to organize a core, 8 core ILO standards, as we applied in all countries. But as I said, not all countries have signed the ILO Convention on the 8 core, including the right to organize, right to not have child labor. So, now, let's move forward. Why do I say this document when you cite must be legally binding? 2007, ASEAN, after 42 years, 2 years of existence, it became a legal body. Until 2007 and 2008, when they ratified, that means all countries signed, placed the document in ASEAN and in the UN now, they were not formally like a registered business. You can be unregistered, but that is not legal. You cannot go to the bank and get credit even. So ASEAN cannot have a binding agreement before you become a legal body. So here we now have a legal body, and that sets the minimum standard, basic standard how you treat your citizens in your own country, how you treat them when you deal with your citizens in Cambodia or in Singapore or Singapore citizens, or if your citizens go overseas, how do you treat them? So that is the basic norms are there now. Now, the point of the ASEAN members, how do they deal with human rights? Of course, there are different histories, different cultures, they say. There are different ways to look at it. But yet again, there are minimum basic standards, international standards. So I think that has to be agreed. Looking at that is important, but what is the practice? So ASEAN Charter was signed 2007 to try to promote rights of human rights, fundamental freedom. This same thing is also in the ASEAN Declaration for Protection of Migrant Workers. So it also says, very interestingly, it would be a step to move faster, but just to say, when we talk about ASEAN community, they divide into three pillars. One pillar deals with the political security. I don't want to go into it. You know about the conflict. Cambodia has gone through a lot of problems in the past on these. And there are still problems in Myanmar, every other place. But that is very central. Without peace, you cannot have development, concentration of development. You'll be focusing on trying to win the war or fighting each other. The other one is the economic community, which has a lot of legally binding agreements already, like reduction of tariffs. But as I say, there is a special thing from the countries that are much poorer than Cambodia, not to have these tariffs imposed immediately this year. It was signed last year, last October. So Singapore has already implemented it, but for Cambodia and Laos, it will take another 5 years at least to open up some of the industrial sectors. For example, increased service sector like communication. I will not go into detail. The most important is now the social culture. Under this is a section dealing with migrant workers. And also there is a section dealing with labor movement and movement of people from one country to another. So even under the economic plan of action, the economic community, there it has something to do with migrant workers. The free movement or flow of skilled workers, for example, is claimed that. The other thing that we already heard from Brian was about visas, passports, employment permits for long-term work for 2 years, 3 years, employment hours for professionals. So these are all part of the economic plan. And even for students and staff, you have to get ASEAN network. For example, Cambodian universities can have exchange in Singapore, or Malaysian universities having exchange with other countries like Thailand, Singapore too. And also your government officials are going for training in countries like Singapore. Singapore has an institute for civil service, people who are even fully trained there, exchanges. So I think we will go on under the social culture. It also has another section on that. So one other thing for Cambodia specifically is developing skills. The very important point is accreditation. Your skills, the training that you give must be recognized, regional standards and national standards. If you say this is the course of welders, the welding must be, there are many different trainings of welding. But if you don't have the proper training, you say you can weld a sheet in a building sheet. You go to Singapore and they test, you can't do. You'll be sent back or you become undocumented, you run away. Otherwise you'll be deported. Because you don't have a skill but you are there. So it's very important that Cambodia actually sets a standard for schools from that. That is called MRA, mutual agreement. You need a mutual agreement between ASEAN countries, but your standard must be recognized by Singapore and the 9 other countries. Altogether 10 countries. So you must have that sort of regional agreement on your standards, otherwise it's useless. Okay. Now, very importantly for me is the social section A to deal with improvement of the human resource. Here we are treating human beings as a resource with skills. So that goes back to the qualification, competence. If you don't have that competence, it's going to be problematic. So is your labor force in Cambodia waiting for economic integration of ASEAN? Otherwise, what you will have is a very difficult situation. Most of your jobs may go to another country. If Vietnam has the skills to provide for factory workers, electromechanical engineering or whatever,